Hey guys, welcome to Nerdarchy, for nerds by nerds. I'm Ted, hanging out with some of my colleagues here.
Nerdarchy Dave.
I'm Nathan Nerdarch.
So today we're going to bring you another exciting edition of the MageForge, and this is take 2 for the spell Quill because our mic screwed up.
Yeah, we had some technical difficulties. So okay, the Mage Quill, the bullet points, right? What we came up with.
The idea behind the spell Quill, when looking at the DMG, there wasn't any magical quills, nothing, no writing implements. So I said, all right, guys, let's come up with a thing called the spell Quill. And
basically I said, well, wouldn't it be cool if the spell Quill was like a consumable magic item, a lot like a scroll, but it had a little more utility, they're more rare, and it did some of the stuff that a scroll could do. Well, it actually does everything a scroll can do, but better.
But better.
Because you can also take the spell that's in the quill and put it in your book.
Right. And then we're also, the idea we came up with is like, okay, so to use a spell Quill, you actually have to be a spellcaster.
Right. You don't have to have the spell. It's just, you have to have, that term spellcasting in your class.
You have to have a list.
Right.
So, and basically, so then the Quill can be used to cast any spell of a specific level in school, right, from a casting class that you have. You could basically, you write the command word or maybe the action where, you write in the air and then you release it and the spell is cast. Or you do the same thing and set it loose on your spell book and it will transfer one spell from that Quill into the book. And then it poof disintegrates like a good consumable magic item should.
Right. So so you've got this dual purpose item. I mean, the second purpose is only useful to a wizard, or if by some bizarre fluke you're you've got ritual casting and you want to put it into your ritual book. That's another way if it falls into the right level and school.
Oh yeah, that would actually be a great use, and we didn't even discuss that in the last time. So that was right, a good point.
So then we was like, well, where does it where does it come up? Where did this thing come from, or these things come from? And we didn't delve too much into the history, but we did talk about how they were created. Like what kind of,
we have we kind of like two major ideas, right? I would say. One is we have this guy going around saying, hey, I invented these really awesome spell quills. Mm. And the other idea is, well, he actually kind of reinvented them because he found the formula. And then he's just kind of passing it off like, I'm the man.
So you need literal quills or feathers from a creature that is magical, cockatrice, koalt, however,
fiendish porcupine.
Vrock, an actual phoenix, and anything that is completely a magical creature and has feathers, quills.
Yeah, if it went thematically along with whatever school it was, that would be cool.
Right. So then basically the greater the magic of the being, the more you can actually do with it, or the more quote unquote quills you could actually use from said creature.
Yeah, like so essentially, like if you want a 9th level spell, yeah, you're probably going to need something pretty bumpy, like a phoenix or a solar or an angel. Or but if you wanted to make lower level spells, you could use a bunch of those feathers from said creature to do it. But if you just found the cockatrice and you're hunting cockatrices, you're gonna be able to do like a cantrip or first level spell.
It's completely open to we're not going to come up with a magical formula or a mathematical formula for what you have to use, because it's too much work.
Nate already has done it in his brain.
But that's the level 12 intellect at work. But leave it open to the DM's decision as to what they think is gonna work, because that's what 5th edition's about.
Yeah, I've got my formula, but I agree with you that if you want to use spell quills, do what you want with it.
Yeah, pretty much. Each DM is probably going to have his own notes, or you maybe just on it's on the fly. Oh, you want to make that? You have the formula. Yeah, the formula for it first. Now you can make it. Oh, what spell do you want to put in it? Oh yeah, that's going to definitely require the coral, or however you say that. Koala bear? I don't know. The koala. You're going to need something of that magical nature to get that spell in there. And and it might actually be that you actually harvest a bunch of the feathers, but because of the potency of the magic you want to put in the quill, it distills down to one actual quill.
Mhm.
You're like, but I had like a pillowcase full of these. Well, then you should have tried making an 8th level spell. I don't know what to tell you.
Indeed.
So it's going to be useful for the bard. It's going to be useful for an Eldritch Knight.
Well, everyone but
Arcane Trickster,
non-casting fighter, non-casting rogue. Everybody else has got spells.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
So, which is kind of like the weird thing about 5th edition, but that's a whole nother discussion.
The monk. The monk technically doesn't have any spells.
He technically does have spells, but it's really weird.
He doesn't have the spellcasting feature.
He does. No, he doesn't have the spellcasting feature.
I like the spellcasting feature as the way you would actually get it or not.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You actually have to be a caster, and that can extend to ritual.
Yeah, ritual caster the feat.
Yeah, so I mean, even the warlocks and the sorcerers, they can use it. And then and if you happen to be a fighter and you're a ritual caster, a champion or battle master, you can absolutely use a spell quill to add the spell to your spell book. So, which is kind of cool because any spell of a given school that you don't have to pay to put in your book. I mean, that's one of the really hard things about being a wizard or a ritual caster in 5th edition, especially like in my campaigns. I don't give out a lot of gold.
Yeah,
so
believe me.
I just saw what he had on his sheet. Yeah.
So it is really difficult to fill up that spell book.
Yeah.
And
that's a big chunky
and if you're
piece of gold, then
So if you're someone who's trying to put spells in a book, be it a ritual or a wizard, and you're trying to afford armor, it's like
well, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So
so like you look at a spell quill and it's 9th level. I mean, just to write that spell in your book, what is it? It's
450.
Yeah, that's a nice chunk of change. I mean, maybe not so much for the high level character, but if you're trying to transcribe a whole spell book of those spells in there, then that starts adding up. 10 spells, almost $5,000.
Yeah, that's like finding a big old chunk of gold or
there's
a whole stack of platinum.
It's very much like that. Yeah. So spell quote, consumable magic item, unique, kind of fun thing. It's going to be in your campaign and then it's going to go away. They get a brief benefit of either casting a spell or adding a spell to their spell book. It has more flexibility than a scroll, more potency than a scroll.
Yeah.
And I like it.
So there you go. I think we're gonna write this one out of there.
It's fully penned. There
you go. So once you put your comments down below, what you think? Do you like the spell Quill? Is it something that you want to use in your game? While you're doing that, feel free to click like, share, even subscribe.
Check us out on nerdarchy.com.
Also join the conversation over on Reddit.
So until next time,
stay nerdy.